Aloha everybody, and welcome back to Kyle Astrology 1122. Today, well actually tonight, I'm going to be continuing my series on what it's like to have the different sun signs with Scorpio Rising. I already did Virgo and Taurus, I believe, so this one's going to be all about having the Aries sun sign with the Scorpio ascendant. So this is particularly an interesting one to me because Scorpio Rising is ruled by both Pluto and Mars, and one of its co-rulership planets, Mars, rules over both Scorpio and Aries. So a person who has the Aries sun sign, Mars is already ruling over their chart since they are the Scorpio Rising, and they're the Aries Sun, and the Sun is already exalted in Aries, and the rising sign has that Mars rulership already. So this is someone that is very tapped into the Mars side of their Scorpio rising. And for any Scorpio ascendant looking to your Mars and your Pluto, the signs that they are in, the aspects they make to the other planets, and the houses they fall in, and their degrees and all that stuff is really important. But for the Aries Sun Scorpio rising combination, their Mars is probably going to be a little more important to them than their Pluto. So, what is it, right? So you're basically mixing fire and water for this rising sign and sun sign duo. So typically when you have, whether it's a Leo sun, an Aries sun, or a Sagittarius sun, because the sun is bright, it's out in the open. The sun does well in fire signs. It's ruled, it rules over Leo, but it's exalted in Aries. It does really good in Sagittarius too. These are very expressive, sometimes, I don't want to say flamboyant, isn't necessarily the right word, but just very expressive signs typically. But with the Scorpio ascendant being water and how Scorpio is, it kind of has a way of dampening those down a little bit. But with Aries, because of that Mars thing in there and that blending with Scorpio rising, it's not going to be quite as dampered down as maybe a Sagittarius sun with Scorpio rising or a Leo sun with Scorpio rising. But this person still isn't going to be like an in-your-face type of Aries, because Aries is a very direct and non-passive energy, whereas Scorpio, even though it is direct in a sense, it's also very subtle, and it is water, so it's emotional and it's a feeler, whereas Aries is a doer. It does and asks questions later, whereas Scorpio is very methodical and kind of sits with things before taking those actions. So having the mix of these two together is typically going to bring a person that does emotionally process a little quicker than some Scorpio risings do, with that extra Mars punch going on to kind of take initiative and take action and kind of like an arrow going like straight through things. But it's still going to have that Scorpio rising approach to kind of like, take a step back, feel it out kind of deal, but it's not going to be as slow as some other Scorpio rising positions might be. Anger is definitely going to be a big thing here, because Scorpio rising anger can be a big thing. Aries is very quick to anger and very quick to show it. The good thing about Aries energy is that, unlike maybe Taurus or even maybe like Pisces or Cancer, certain emotions will flow through, and anger being the specific emotion we're talking about, comes through and does what it does, and a lot of other signs kind of hold on to things. Aries, it gets angry, it's done, it's over. Whereas Scorpio has a tendency to kind of be more of a silent, angry type person, and when they do, get loud and upset about something, you really know you've crossed their boundary and really have a reason to have made them upset, and they've probably been like sitting with it for a while and letting it build up, and are prone to resentments and unforgiveness and bitterness and things like that. But someone who has the Aries Sun with the Scorpio ascendant is going to be someone who they have this good blend of being a little more quick to anger, but also having that Scorpio there to kind of tame it down a little bit. But at the same time, the Aries side is going to help things not stick so much, because Scorpio is fixed water. Things can get really murky there. The emotions are not always as fluid as Cancer or Pisces would be, and things can kind of get stagnant. And so that Aries energy with the sun here is going to kind of let things flow through a little more quickly. That cardinal fire just again going straight through, right? Another big thing here is sexuality. That's something I have to touch on. That's potentially can be a big thing with Scorpio, whether it's with one partner or with many. And Aries, sexuality and passion and that fiery spirit, right, that is often brought to the table when it comes to our sexual relationships. This combination is going to usually be a person that is very connected to their sense of sexuality. This is someone who it's a soul thing. It's kind of a blending of the physical urges and sensations of sex and the spiritual urges and sensations of sex and sexuality that are coming together and making it an even more euphoric experience than it is for just any average person. Like it usually is going to be for anybody, and potentially can be. For this person, that sexuality is going to be extremely, extremely important. So either way, what it comes down to, all in all, this, in my opinion, is one of the better sun sign placements to have with a Scorpio ascendant, because there's, again, having that the Mars rulership going on with Scorpio rising and Aries being ruled by Mars and being exalted in the sun. This one just blends together very well. And of course, they have their differences. Fire and water can often be like, whoa, that doesn't always work, right? You would think fire and air go really good together, water and earth go really good together. But in this case, the Scorpio-Aries combination actually works really well. So for anyone that has this placement, I hope that was helpful. Or if you know someone that has this placement, maybe you can understand them a little bit better. It's definitely a dynamic and fun one. So I'm going to definitely be continuing this series. I don't know which one I'm doing next. I'm just kind of doing it on the fly. And for anyone that is interested in doing chart readings with me of any kind, I offer very discounted rates on my website. Links down below in the description. And so thank you for watching, everybody, and much aloha and happy transiting.